I love physical media. I have a lot of physical media myself, rather if that's vinyls, rather if that's CDs, which I have plenty of, as you can see, or even comic books. Being able to see and hold some of your favorite pieces of media is important. And not only can it support the artist directly, but it also makes sure that you can have it at all times and it's your property and it can't be taken away. Now, with that being said, we are now in a digital age where physical media is not necessarily needed anymore. And now it's more so of a collectible more than something that's actually functional because it's more convenient just to do everything on a phone, tablet, or computer nowadays. You don't really see people carrying a Walkman on them nowadays or like a CD player like it's the 2000s or something. But the concern with that now is that we're having the issue of ownership of stuff that is online and not physical. You can't take someone's physical media away because that's their property. But when you buy something online, like a video game, the line starts to become blurred. PlayStation just announced that they are going to stop making physical copies by 2028. And this is conveniently said after the policy change they made a couple months ago in March 2026, where digital game licenses now require online verification. Consoles must connect to the internet at least once every 30 days, or Sony's system automatically revokes your license and locks you out of your digital titles until you reconnect. So basically, you have to connect to the internet once every 30 days, or your game will be locked until you connect the internet again. And basically, if you don't connect to the internet, they basically just take your game away. Like, which is crazy, by the way. Like, that's something that we buy with our own money can even be taken away just because we don't connect to the internet. Now, this may not be a problem to most people at first until you realize once the server shut down for that console, you're pretty much cooked and you can't play any games on that console because it can't connect to the internet because the servers are shut down. And since that they're removing physical copies, there is a future where we could just get our games taken from us without any care. Let's say if you have a digital only PS5, right, with no disc drive, you could eventually have your games taken away when PlayStation eventually moves on to the next console and shuts down the PS5, and it can pretty much take all your games away. Unless if you buy that next console, of course. And if games get blacklisted or removed, like what already happened with the racing game The Crew owned by EA, then we don't have any access to the game that we spent our hard-earned money on. Not to mention that there is no secondhand selling of gaming anymore with no disc copies, so now pretty much PlayStation can fix the prices of games however they want. This is a big problem for ownership of games, and letting major corporations control our gaming library is nothing but insane. And this is coming from someone who's been using PlayStation products my whole life. It's the only thing I use the game on by this point, besides my PC on some occasions. And it's scary how this could possibly carry on to other gaming platforms, and even worse, onto other categories of ownership like music or even books. Letting these corporations control the ownership of our titles is a scary thing to think about, and we should fight to keep these products because it could eventually lead to more harmful policies and changes for gaming. And not to mention, having a physical copy of a game is just a lost art that we need to bring back in general. Like, I remember on Christmas opening up new games my mom had bought me, or going to GameStop and picking out a game to buy, and on the car ride home, opening the case and reading the back of the case and stuff. Like, I remember, I think it was 2016 when Lego Avengers came out. And I was about 6 years old at the time, and I remember going back to school shopping, but I didn't even care about the back to school shopping because my mom said that we could go to GameStop and get a new disc for my PlayStation 4. Like, that is the feeling that not only that I want to pass on to the next generation, but it's just a feeling that you can't beat in general. It's just that type of charm you can just never beat. Like, you can never beat that feeling of, on the car ride home, just being so excited to just go home and play that game that you just got. Like, not to mention that, it also gives you that kind of, that like that feeling, just being able to see something that you love, like how I have my vinyls and I have my CDs, or some people might have books or manga or whatever. They like to see those things because it's something that they can appreciate and remember. So make sure to buy physical media now while it's still with us, because it seems like in the future we may not have that same luxury again.